Okay, Disney fans, it's time for the deep dive bonus. We're talking about deal structure. The deal structure here is really all about money, right? How are we designing our contracts? How is the money flowing? How are we setting these agreements up with partners? And obviously, we're going to use Disney as an example of one of the contracts that he set up. Okay, so this is for the Alice short films. We got a contract for 16 Alice's, and we got 1,500 per film, and 900 was payable and deliverable, and 600 was payable in 90 days. So the 600 what we would call obviously net 90, which is long. And so the total contract value, or TCV, is $39,000. Okay, so this is the structure. I think there's some good parts and some bad parts. I think obviously being delivered per film is good, because that way it's kind of almost commission based or performance based, where we deliver the film, we get the money. We deliver the film, we get the money. So we could accelerate all of our films we're delivering to get the cash in as quickly as possible. So that's a good part of it, which is great. I think it's a decent amount of money, especially in the days where these contracts were written up. I mean, I would gladly take a $40,000 contract right now, right? And so that would be a lot of money. And probably the only thing we could say negatively is about, a good chunk, 30+% of the contract is on net 90, right? So it's not ideal. So really what we want to do to optimize this contract, regardless if we can negotiate this or not, obviously in a perfect world, we would negotiate the net 90 piece down to like a net 30 or a net 60. And we would front load the films in terms of our deliverable and try to get as many films out the door. And that way, the minute we deliver that film, we're trying to shorten our cash cycles. So that 90 days, or if it is 90, we're gonna hustle get those films delivered so that the clock can start on those, as many of those as possible. Okay, so how do we design these types of agreements for our business, right? So okay, the goal of this course is to learn about Disney, but it's really about how do we apply these entrepreneurship lessons from Disney in our business. So this is an example kind of contract or way we could go about thinking about this stuff. So we have 2 clients. So that's what people don't understand about starting companies. I think for most people, my understanding of their desire about entrepreneurship, and this is how it was for me as well, it's not always about making $1 billion. It's about working for yourself, having that freedom that comes with being an entrepreneur. There's a lot of downsides of being an entrepreneur, but in terms of the upsides, I mean, the freedom, the flexibility to be your own man, to be your own boss, those are pretty amazing. And so I think that there's some bad advice out there around basically always focusing on creating a product, right? You don't have to create a product. You can create a service, and that's actually the easiest way to get started. And so this is a basic kind of breakdown of how we think we could create a decent business right here, just with 2 clients, right? So we have 2 clients. They're each paying $2,500 a month. So that's $5,000 a month total coming in. We have a 6-month minimum on the contract. So we're looking at $30,000. So right there, I mean, dude, if you had, if you had these clients all year, you'd have a $60,000 a year business, and hopefully not a ton of costs associated with delivering these contracts. And so how we could design it is we could say a $1,500 per month as a monthly retainer. So each month we're getting that $1,500 from both clients no matter what. And then we could say, okay, and then we're going to tie $1,000 piece of that to commission or quant-based metrics, aka very quantitative kind of performance-based stuff. We get $1,500 no matter what, but if we close 10 deals or 20 deals, or if we improve the metric that we're talking about from here to there, whatever that quant-based thing is, we basically get our $1,000 bonus effectively. And there's a lot of different ways you could design this. It could be on a scale, you have a bunch of different metrics, but I think probably just trying to make it as simple as possible, just to get the client over the hump is good. And this way, it's not $2,500 no matter what. You have something to work for, they have something to work for, and this is a good contract. Like I said, if you get these clients to do it all year, you're at $60,000. If you have 4 of these clients doing this all year, I mean, you have a 6-figure business right there. So and these numbers are very changeable, right? If we say it's $5,000 a month per client, That's a $10,000 a month business right there with two clients, right? That's 120K a year with two clients. So it's very doable, and this is a good breakdown. All right, so key points or key things to consider when we're talking about designing this in the deep dive bonus. Use commission or performance-based components to reduce the risk for the client, right? So I may say the target is 5,000 a month, but it's all performance-based, and I may not hit it every month, but I've removed a lot of risk for the client. I've done things where for each new partner you bring on, you get a certain commission. Could be a $500, could be a $1,000 commission, and then you get a back end commission based off of the sales or whatever happens with that partner if you're in a sales function. So you can structure these differently, but I would use some type of commission or performance-based metric to reduce risk. So we've talked a lot about the financing, the prospecting. There's a lot you have to do as a founder. And so we don't always want to be delivering the contract, right? Our goal is to secure the contract, bring the partner in. We want to be involved as much as we can on delivering it, but we can't be expected to deliver the entire contract. Else we will not get financing for the business. Else we will not be prospecting for new clients to get the next client in just in case when a current one leaves. So it's either virtual assistants, it's employees, or it's other partners, other service providers to execute the contract on your behalf. So what I do is I use virtual assistants. I use I think it's Upwork or Odesk. I think it's called Upwork now. So I use Upwork. It's fantastic. I've done it for years. Highly recommend it. I have full-time employees that I use to do the contracts. I'll be the kind of face of it, and then everything else that they're doing is kind of underneath the hood. But that's the way I do it, and now I would recommend that. Else you're not going to be able to. The idea with the service-based business that we're talking about, like in this example, is really you're securing the contracts for the clients. You're the face of the company. You have some people helping you provide the service, the product, the deliverable to the client. And then what you're doing is you're doing the prospecting for new clients. You're trying to raise funding. You're doing other things. And you're also working on the vision of the company and the future company, right? So if we're just doing a service-based business, which is if that's all you want to do, it's fine. But there's some issues with that, which we'll discuss. And so by having other people deliver the contract, deliver the deliverable, be working on that client on the day-to-day, that's going to free you up to do other things. And just realize that these are shorter term arrangements, so they won't last for years typically. Expect churn, right? This issue with the consulting and the client services stuff is they churn. Like the clients leave, the clients fire you because they had a bad quarter, you did a bad job, whatever. Just like a normal job, they fire you. And it's a higher rate and shorter term, right? You don't get fired from every single job, hopefully, unless maybe you're me or someone. You don't get fired from every single job that you work at. But you should maybe expect for every client to fire you at some point. Just because, unless you're just absolutely crushing it, it's just the way these things work. They would rather bring someone in full time. They have cash flow issues. They sell their business, whatever. And so just expect that they're not going to last forever. So the idea here is we're going to use these service contracts to build our business, to build our systems, to train our employees, to fund our lives. But the goal is to eventually get out of the service businesses or have that be a smaller component of our business and have other revenue streams that help the business, if that's selling products, whatever. And so you offer services in your niche to help you get closer to your vision and your products, right? So it's hard to know what Disney's visions were, obviously, but I think we have a good idea of looking at his timeline and whatnot. He had big, hairy, audacious goals, and those goals weren't to provide films to other people, right? He used the Alice's to get the studio off the ground, and the studio then could do feature films, and then with feature films you could do X and Y, and you could do merchandise and do all these different things. So we use services just like Disney did in our niche, not random niches that we don't understand. We use services in our niche to help us get closer to our vision and our products. So just like Disney did, we're going to provide our Alice's, provide our services, get money, build our system, set up our organizations, be in the game for the long haul, And while we're doing that, we're thinking about how we're going to create other things in our niche that are going to help us scale and be a bigger organization and not just a service provider to other businesses. So hopefully you enjoyed the deep dive bonus on deal structure. It was really all about money and designing contracts. So think about this stuff. It's really not that hard to get a few clients and to have a little service business. It's a great side hustle. It's a great tinkering. So enjoy, deep dive, set up your deals correctly, and hopefully be successful.